No, not the tallest. But it was a jumping thing, right?
Yeah. In college, I got to set 2 national records in high jump in Division III. So that's my fun fact. Yes, I probably could have jumped over most of you at some point. In the little bio that I written up, it was talking about how, yeah, I gave up the comic books a while ago, but I still don't have this total grasp on reality. Something that was in common with, was it Shelley was telling that? Yeah. And so I go to Burning Man every year. And has anybody here been to Burning Man? Has anybody, oh, here we go, we got a burner. We got a burner, that's awesome. If you have not been to Burning Man, you have got to go to Burning Man. It is the most amazing festival in the world. You've got 50,000 of your closest friends. They're all musicians, they're all artists, they're all crazy hippies, they're all fun visionaries, and they're just running around in the middle of the desert, building a city out of pure imagination. And they're just having the time of their lives, most of them. Some of them are high, so, you know, we don't know what's going on in their heads. But it is just an amazing experience. And, you know, the thing is, everybody who goes to Burning Man comes home with some kind of story. So would anybody like to hear my Burning Man story?
Oh, yeah. Yes, please.
All right. This is back in 2009, and I was living in California at the time, and I was dealing with a stalker. Something about being, you know, tall and thin or something, you just attract these weird guys every once in a while. And I was having a tough time. He knew where I lived, he knew where I worked, he went to my church, he was fighting the restraining order, I had to see him in court every couple of months, it was just a nightmare. And I had some friends who lived in Los Angeles, and they knew what I was going through. They said, you know, you need a break. Come to the desert. You don't have to worry about him for a whole week. We'll take care of you. You can stay with our camp. It's called Red Lightning, and it's all about women and healing. You're going to have a wonderful time, we promise. Just come on out. It's like, all right, I'll do this. So I get my car, all my stuff, to Burning Man. I'm standing out in the desert. I find Red Lightning. I find my friends, and my friend Yvonne says, all right, here you go. Here's where you're camping. Over there is the dining hall. And over there is our big sound stage where all the fire spinners are going to be dancing. And up there on that pyramid, there's my husband Brent. He's up on the top. He's putting in a big Tesla coil, you know, the ones that send out all the zappy electricity. It's like, whoa, this place is amazing. And then she takes me over to this circle of teepees. Honest to gosh, full like 12-foot teepees, standing in a ring. And she says, this is the heart of Red Lightning. And this is the heart of Burning Man this year. We have all these women who've been dreaming this vision in of bringing women back into connection with the earth. Right here in the center of the ring is the Moon Lodge. This is only for women. Over there is the Sun Lodge. The men can go play there. But here is the Women's Lodge. And this is only for people who are seeking connection with each other. This is for sacred space. Towards the end of the week, it was only for women who were actually bleeding, who were on their moon. It was such a sacred space, like the red tent, things I'd never encountered before. And I thought it was a really cool idea. And it was a safe space to be a woman. I didn't have to worry about stalkers for a whole week. Awesome. So I decided, all right, I'm a martial artist. I want to sign up in some way to contribute to the camp. There's a guardianship. You can guard this space. And I signed up and I started training with this other martial artist called Adam Apollo, and he starts teaching everybody how to not only protect from people who come in maybe a little bit too intoxicated, but how to hold the energies safely, how to recognize this is a safe space for people. How do you hold that? How do you keep negativity away? How do you walk the circle and hold good intention? And at first it sounded really crazy and hippie and like all these crazy burners running around talking this strange language, but it started to get to me after a while. I'm like, yeah, I can feel this. This place really is like the beating heart of Red Lightning. This is a place for women to really come and be held by a circle of men who are getting to be real men and learn that, yes, they are valued. So the week goes along, and anybody who's been to Burning Man will tell you, they could tell you hours of stories. There's thousands of people running around in crazy costumes. There's art cars that look like giant pirate ships and crazy turtles and penises just running around all over the flyout. I kid you not. And There was this time I got to fly a kite while wearing a tutu and riding a merry-go-round. It was amazing. But what I want to tell you about is the night of the burn. Burn night is Saturday night every year. And they've got this 100-foot tall wooden effigy that throws its arms up in the air for a couple of hours before everything goes totally nuts. And 50,000 people come from all directions. They got art cars, they got costumes, they're spinning fire, they're bumbling around with hula hoops, and they're just having the time of their lives. And then they set off fireworks and pyrotechnics, and then everything just starts to explode in huge gasoline-fueled fire, and the entire man starts to burn and turn into ashes, and people start dancing around in the embers, and it's just completely crazy. But meanwhile, back at Red Lightning, August 2009, it's burn afternoon, and the winds started to pick up. This is bad news on the desert. You've got dust, and when the winds start to blow, the dust starts to blow. And when the dust starts to really blow, it's rattling against the tents. It's like putting dents into your goggles, and people can't even move around without making sure they're totally covered because their exposed skin is going to get hurt. And it was getting so fierce that the impossible started to be rumored. The fire marshals were going to shut down the burn. It was going to be too dangerous. The winds were too fierce. People couldn't get out there. And no, this can't happen. And little did we know, it was all Red Lightning's fault. Honest to God, it was our fault. We had pissed off the goddess. She was sitting there in that heart of Red Lightning, heart of Burning Man, and going, you guys aren't protecting your women. We got ambulances going by, and we got fires burning, and there's just craziness going on, and the goddess, what are you? So we didn't know, yeah. Well, I'm out there, and I'm on my very last guardianship duty. I'm just hanging out in the teepees. I'm hunkered down, out of the wind a little bit, and one of the leaders of the camp comes running up. He says, Ria, we need you. We need you in the dining hall right now. Like, what's going on? He says, well, there's this guy, and he's been harassing this woman. He like made out with her or something at the start of the week, and now he won't leave her alone. He's following her everywhere. He's threatening to break down all her stuff, and he's threatening to burn her tent. He's threatening to hurt her, and we're going to tell him he has to leave camp, but we need all the guardians we can get. Sure? He's talking about a stalker. I just want to curl into a little fetal position and say, somebody take me home. There aren't any doors in the desert. You can't turn the lock. You can't hold up a restraining order and go, all right, you naked man running around with a firebrand, go away. What are you going to do? But, I'm a guardian. I got to show up. So I go to the dining hall, and I get there, and it's packed. It's crowded. Everybody's trying to hide from the storm. And you can see this little knot of people over in the corner, and it's getting a little intense over there. And sure enough, this young guy, he comes jumping out, runs over to the middle of the room, and just like jumps up on top of a table and starts shouting, everybody, I'm getting kicked out of camp. I didn't do anything. There's no reason for this. There's no reason for this, everybody. So the leaders start following it over, and I get over close too. I'm like, okay, I can handle this. This is good. If there's going to be violence, I can handle this, really. No. The guys are up there going, hey, get down. We already told you what's going on. You're not welcome here. Get out of here. He's like, no, I'm not going anywhere. I deserve to be here. She deserves to get what she gets, and I have a right to do this. Well, all of a sudden, I feel this soft touch on my back. And I look, and there's Adam Apollo. There's that guy who was training us earlier. And he's standing there with this calm smile on his face. Just, He's got a stance. He's ready, but he's grounded. But he is just the chillest mofo you've ever seen. He is just so brimming with confident cheerfulness. And I'm going, this is different. You're not shaking in your boots. You're ready. You're ready if anything happens, but what are we fighting about anywhere? There's some loser standing up on a table trying to convince people with some words that it's okay to abuse a woman, and that's not true. Even if everybody in this room starts to believe him, that's still not true. That's not what anybody here is about. I don't have to prove anything. I just have to make sure that, nobody's getting hurt. Okay. And you know what? A minute or two later, some Black Rock Rangers walk in. Yeah. This is Black Rock City's, the name of the city on the playa. They're the volunteer police. They come on over, they escort him very gently off of the table and out of the space, out of the camp, out of our lives, and bam, we are done. And I'm like, huh, it actually works. Once in a while, we don't have to put up with these guys. We don't have to keep going back to court or anything. This is awesome, awesome. So I go back out to the teepees. The storm is still raging. I just need to be out there and spend some minutes pondering this, talking to the goddess, going, hey, this works. And this is where things start getting a little weird. I can't see. The dust is too thick. But I can hear that something is flapping wild. And I'm going, I think one of the canvases came off one of the teepees. I get a little closer and I almost trip over something. And I shout, help, help! Oh my gosh, one of the lodge poles came down off of the moon lodge. One of the center of our heart, where our camp is just falling to the ground. What are we gonna do? And I hear this man's voice coming out of the dust. He says, I can help, where are you? I'm over here. Well, he finds me, one of the guys from camp. We grab this lodge pole, we stick it up into the tent flap, we seal it up, the moon lodge is there, and I tell you the truth. I swear it right here, I wasn't even high. The storm ends. The wind that had been howling a moment before just went, whoosh. The dust starts to clear. You start to see the twinkle lights all strung around the teepees. You can see the lanterns in the camps. You can see the headlamps of the art cars. You can start to see the spotlights of the art projects out on the playa. And you can see the light show starting out a quarter-mile away at that great big giant man with his arms in the sky. The burn is on. And then you can see the full moon. We'd done it. We protected the women. We protected the circle. We'd honored the goddess. She says, all right, you guys can go play. Good on you. And we did. I got to go sit down on that stage and watch the man burn with all my friends. And Yvonne, she leans into me at one point. She goes, you know, it's so beautiful. I feel so safe here.